it's Signa here. Thank you so much for watching this channel. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe and give this video a like. We talk all about business, marketing, and personal development. And if you hear my dog, she makes some sound as well. So today, what we're gonna talk about is how to make more profit in your company. And this is really, really important information. Like, if I would have known this early in my business career, I don't know, it would have saved me years of stress, anxiety, and like doing things the right way, basically. But first, before you're gonna watch this, make sure you go to the link in the description and get my 7 actions that will make your business grow ebook. It's absolutely free. Just click the link in the description and get it now. So let's talk profit. There's a really, really good book that I recommend everyone to read, and it's called Profit First. I don't remember the author right now, but this one really made me do my numbers very differently in my business. And profit is something that we kind of don't talk about a lot. Everyone always talks about the revenue. Everyone's always like, oh, we need to get more revenue, more sales, but no one talks how much cash you're actually putting on your bank account or in your pocket by the end of the day. Like, businesses are here to make profit, and if you don't make profit, you're not going to be in business. Profit is not a bad thing. Like, I personally had a really, I don't know if it was a belief, but I was really embarrassed, or like, just it was bad for me to discuss like how much profit I was taking out of the business or not taking out of the business, because I don't know what happens, but it is not a bad thing. I really want to ensure you that this should be something that you look at daily. It's almost like there's no point of having any revenue at all if you're not going to have a profit. And unless you're some startup like from Silicon Valley that is building a really massive app or a software that, you know, doesn't need to be profitable the first year because it's going to make 100 million in profit in 5 years, you know, that's great. That's different story. But if you're a small business owner or just a business owner, you have to be profitable. And the earlier you can be profitable in your business from the start, the better it is. You're my dog. Okay. So if you are a small business owner, you know, you have to be profitable, because if you're not profitable from the beginning or from a very early on from the business life, you're gonna experience so much stress and anxiety. And I'm telling you this because I have been through that. My mom has, you know, had so many businesses, and she went through that same pain, and it's just not worth it. Yeah, my dog is doing zoomies right now. I just walked her for like 3 hours, but nope, that dog's got energy. So let's talk about how to get profit. So there's only like couple of ways that you can really add more profit to your business. Number 1 is cutting your expenses. And that should be something that you look into all the time. I personally look at my expenses on a monthly basis, and you don't want to remove all of it, but you do want to assess, like, is it bringing my business money? Is it generating sales? Or is it just a fancy thing that I think I need, but really I don't? Okay, it's crazy. What do I mean by that? You know, for example, so what do I mean by that? Okay, Missy, you go. So you should look at all your expenses and ask yourself, is this thing bringing my business money, or is it giving more value for my clients? And really look at things and think, is it just a fancy purchase? Like, for example, you really don't need a new iPad for your business. And I don't even know, if you're a graphic designer, maybe yes, you need a new one, but even then, you can save like half and get a used one because it's a business expense, you have to look at things differently. You can't be, you know, looking at them like a flashy thing that's going to make, you know, it has to be functional. Everything has to be functional and everything has to be planned through. So make sure you look at your expenses once a month and really ask yourself, do you really even need that expense, or can you cut it? That's the second thing that you can do. You can go once a year. I recommend to go through all your companies that you buy electricity from, gas, your phone, your internet, insurance, everything that is kind of like every month and it's your overhead or something that you have to pay for. Go back and negotiate a better deal or get a new company. Like honestly, sometimes you can just switch your contracts and save 10%, 5%, even 3%. 3% that is coming down to your profit and in your pocket. Like every penny counts. So I recommend doing that once a year at least. So that's the first way you can create more profit, which is cut your expenses. But I do ask you to be cautious about it. You don't want to cut yourself into lost sales or like cut yourself out of business. What do I mean by that? I mean, if you start looking at your product cost, for example, like that's what I do as well. I do look at my suppliers and product costs and service costs, and I look through them and I see if there's a way that I can cut those like numbers to a little bit less. You know, I can even bring an example like a toilet paper, right? You know, you have to buy it anyways, but can you save some money on it, right? Can you switch the toilet paper to some different toilet paper basically? However, you don't want to switch your toilet paper to a really bad toilet paper that's gonna give your customers a bad experience. Like they really don't want to use toilet when they're visiting you. That's a really bad example. But another example would be that you manufacture, you know, let's say lights, for example, and you can save, you know, 10% from your, I don't know, bulbs, right? But the bulbs are not the best quality, and by the end of the day it's actually going to make your product worse and make it feel low quality. So you don't want to cut yourself out of business when you're cutting your expenses, but you do want to keep your eye on it. You do want to negotiate new deals. You do want to cut things that you really don't need. You don't need a new computer, you don't need a new iPad, you always don't even need as many employees. Like sometimes it comes out of like convenience that we're just like, oh, I really don't want to do this anymore. Or you see your other employees who are really not that busy, but because you don't want to tell them anything, you're like, okay, I'll just get an extra person, when in fact you could take those job roles and divide them between your employees that you have already, or do them yourself. Like, of course you have to be smart about that, and in most cases you do have to hire and you should not save on hiring. But if it is a question of convenience and really that you have employees and they could technically do it, but make sure you're not, you know, overworking them. Like I definitely don't recommend doing that. So really think those kind of things through. Now, the second way that you can get more profit is to raise your prices. And today morning I read this really good quote. It's a great book, which is like How to Think Bigger, and I wrote it out in here, and this is such a good point, honestly, and it's so good reminder for everyone. And the quote is this: the price tag the world puts on us is just about identical to the one that we put on ourselves. So it means that if we are pricing ourselves, if we're putting prices on our services or products without any research, and we're just deciding like that's how much I think it's worth, in most cases we tend to undervalue our skills. Like I know in a beauty industry, like that is what I see my competition do is ridiculous. Sometimes I ask myself, they're going home with a loss with those kind of prices. Honestly, it doesn't even make sense. And I'm sure you can, if you check your competition, you can find same people, or maybe you are the person who is going home with a loss because you're too scared to ask higher prices. And I'm telling you right now, you have to stop being scared. Like, what price you're gonna say is going to be what your client is going to expect in value. So if you put a low price, they're not gonna expect a lot of work from you. But if you put a high price, they are going to expect a lot of value, and they're gonna appreciate your product more, they're gonna appreciate your work more. In most cases, people who pay more tend to be better people to work with. Like, I've done that. I know this from my experience in my businesses as well. Like, make sure that when you're pricing yourself, you are not using your beliefs and your mindset and like your fears on your business, because your business is really a business. It's not you. There's no equal sign between business and you. Like, you are separate things. So don't be scared to raise prices. If you're at a point where you have too many customers, you should have raised your prices a long time ago. If you're working yourself to the ground because you're so busy, you should have raised your prices a long time ago. If you are in minus with your, profits that don't exist, raise your prices. And yes, sometimes you're going to sell less, but you're earning more money or the same amount of money in the beginning, but you're doing less work for it, which means it gives you more time to put that energy into marketing and finding that different client. So if you need to, you can even go as far as change your branding, change your quality of product, quality of service. How else can you add more value to raise your price? Make sure you calculate your profit in there, and that would be one of the easiest ways to raise your profit. And the second one obviously is cutting your expenses, but I feel like they should all kind of work together. Like, you should cut your expenses and raise your prices at the same time. So that's number 2. And the last point is developing a product or a service that has higher margins. And McDonald's is a good example for that. If you go to McDonald's and you buy a burger, they don't make a lot of money out of it. It's literally just like some cents, basically. I don't remember what the numbers are exactly, but they're not making a lot of money on the burger. But when you buy a meal, or when you buy fries, or when you buy your drink, that's where they make their profit. So how can you use the same strategy? Can you find a product that you can easily upsell with your current base product that you sell, attach it to that, and either raise your prices or just have that second product with higher profit margin that overall raises your company's profits? Or if you are offering services, is there some service that you don't have to put a lot of time into, you don't have to put a lot of work into, product into, but you can charge more for it, or you can charge a decent amount and you can couple them together, or you can offer that as an upsell? So that would be something that you can think about as well. Like, can you develop something to go with your core offer, or can you come up with a completely new offer, completely new service, completely new product that is higher margin, and then you actually move away from the product that is not producing you that much profit to the new one that is. So it's really important to think about those questions, and I really, really urge you, don't be like I was. I was there. I was doing over 100,000 a year, and I thought that we're killing it. We were so busy, and it was just like, I was so proud of myself until I look at my numbers, and I could not take anything home because there was no profit in there. And that's because no one really teaches that. Like, I have a degree in accounting in university, and No one taught me what profit really means. It's all about revenue, taxes, everyone has to get paid, blah blah blah. But as a business, you have to have profit, and it should not be something that comes, you know, as the last priority. No, it should be your number one priority. You should set up your business in the beginning, calculating your prices, calculating your marketing expenses, everything, making sure that before you do anything in there, that you are making profit, like, or you're gonna make profit. So don't be like me. Be smarter and do those things I told you in here. Now I do them all the time. Raising prices. If I can't raise prices, I find a new product or a service that I can upsell, or, you know, I try to sell a different service more that has a bigger profit margin. And I'm continuously looking at my expenses all the time, but I'm not cutting myself out of business. So definitely make sure you check them out. And don't forget to get my 7 actions that will make your business grow in the description. And yeah, let me know, what are you gonna take into action and do today? Are you scared of looking your numbers? Let me know in the comments if anything helped you at all. And I'll see you soon. Bye.